Let's see this picture. It's alright.
It's a bit small with it.
It's pretty cool. What does that say? Just something. I can't
Be
read.
just and fear not.
Fear not. Purge the Xenos.
Okay. We've got everything we need, yeah?
Yep, ready to go.
Okay, so it is the dawn of the 42nd millennium. For more than 100 centuries, the Emperor has sat immobile on his golden throne of Earth. He is the master of mankind by the will of the gods, and the master of 1,000,000 worlds by the might of his inexhaustible armies. He's a rotting carcass writhing invisibly with power from the dark age of technology. He's the carrion lord of the Imperium, for whom 1,000 souls are sacrificed every day so that he may never truly die. Yet in his deathless state, the Emperor continues his eternal vigilance. Mighty battle fleets cross the demon-infested miasma of the warp, the only route between distant stars, their way lit by the Astronomicon, psychic manifestation of the Emperor's will. Vast armies give battle in his name on uncounted worlds. Greatest amongst his soldiers are the Adeptus Astartes, the Space Marine, bioengineered super warriors. Their comrades in arms are Legion, the Imperial Guard, and the countless planetary defense forces, the ever-vigilant Inquisition, and the tech priests of the Adeptus Mechanicus, to name but a few. But for all their multitudes, they are barely enough to hold off the ever-present threat that aliens, heretics, mutants, and worse. To be a man in such times is to be one amongst untold billions. It is to live in the cruelest and most bloody regime imaginable. Forget the power of technology and science, for so much has been forgotten, never to be relearned. Forget the promise of progress and understanding, for in the grim darkness of the far future, there is only war. There is no peace among the stars, only eternity of carnage and slaughter, and the laughter of thirsting gods. We join our heroes on board the Ducal Circlet, a grand cruiser in command of rogue trader Jaquel Veronius. The Veronius line has stretched back over 150 centuries. It has created a dynasty spanning systems, and the man at the helm of this city in space has recently, with the help of his navigator, taken you through the hellish warp storms of the Cicatrix Maledictum, and has spat you out in the thought to be forgotten Gilead system, the primary planet of which is Gilead Primus, a massive hive world of 16 billion people. Ducal Circlet has hung in high orbit over this planet for the last 2 months, while you, your battle brothers, your fellow engine seers, and your other members of the commissariat have been prowling the halls and cavernous halls of this vast ship, itching to do the Emperor's work. The Gilead system is in chaos at the moment. Nearest the star of Convenire is the hive world of Avacrus, a tidally locked hellscape whose dark side is home to massive subterranean forges and the arcane works of the Adeptus Mechanicus. Next is the world of Netherus, a night world. Sorry, a world ruled by knights that is a death world. A throwback there. Sorry, they have isolated cities which have been kind of beset for centuries by enormous creatures that roam the plains. Its population is low, but its rule under King Vilmar the 16th of the Acastan lineage has pledged Knight. What are they called? Knight.
Imperial Night House.
Yeah, his knight houses to the Gilead system and the Emperor's forces within since the Great Gilead Crusade many centuries ago, many millennia ago. After Netherus is the world of Ostia, a vitally important agri-world of approximately 10 billion people. It is the nearest thing in this sector that the Imperium has to pre-imperial ancient Terra. It is run by the Adeptus Ministorum, and it is the green jewel of the Gilead void. Ostia is a bountiful planet of vast forests and fields and oceans, and it stands like a mirror to Terra in its ancient prime. It also feeds the worlds of Gilead and many worlds beyond. Next is Enoch. It is a shrine world, an ocean world of approximately 1 billion people. It has, despite being an ocean world, it's largely oceanic. Equatorial regions are habitable desert, and then the polar regions are ice-covered tundras. It is governed by Archdeacon Merimar Clade of the Enochian Synod. Next is Gilead Prime, the first world of the Gilead system. The hive world, as I said before, houses approximately 16 billion people, and it is mostly now arid wastelands and lifeless alkali flats. Lord Militant, Teleria Philemon, has taken control. Previously her title was Lord Governor, but what will become clear in a few moments, the state of the Gilead system is in utter turmoil, and a more militant role was necessary. Further out, we have Charybdian. On the map, you will notice that Vulcaris and Troilus are in eccentric orbits, and they are just really here to show where they could be at any given time. They are currently far away from the other planets, especially Vulcaris in a highly eccentric orbit. Charybdian is another hive city. Further out, it's only approximately 4 to 5 billion people. Again, it is rocky islands and massive reef structures along high, hard basalt cliffs. Again, I believe it's classified by the Imperium as an oceanic world. It is the black pearl of the Gilead system with its dark, roiling seas, seething with chemical waste and leviathan creatures. Hive cities cling like drowning men to the handful of rocky continental plates that rise above the sea level. Some towering to the skies and some plunging to the depths. You have been on board the Ducal circuit, as I said, for approximately 2 to 3 months after translating in system. During that time, you have been seeing to the machines and the men and the morale necessary to conduct whatever action the Emperor sees fit to give you in this treacherous system. 3 years ago, the cicatrix maledictum exploded across the galaxy, creating the Nihilus sector, the Imperium Nihilus, to the galactic north, severing all contact with that sector from the cradle of man. And since then, the entire galaxy and the Imperium has been in turmoil. We have a year or two after that, the Gilead system, though surrounded by warp storms itself, planet Troilus emerged from the warp into a semi-stable orbit around the star and has currently been visited once or twice for recon by the grave diggers, the Gilead grave diggers, who were the regimental forces of the Imperial Guard within the sector. They are directly controlled by the previously mentioned Philemon, Lord Militant Tileria Philemon, a woman probably in her 70s, although with some rejuve treatments in there. Troilus was once part of this system. It was swallowed by the warp, but what came back is a desolate hive world, torn down and decayed. Mutations abound from what humans, have survived time in the warp. It is currently, as you would expect, off limits to all. Volcaris. I know little about. Hang on. Volcaris. Dangerous lips. Yeah, it's a dead world, basically, that has always had this eccentric orbit and comes in and out of the inner system once every couple of decades. As it stands, time has not favored well in the Gilead system. The primary problems being obviously being cut off from the rest of the Imperium. While Ostia can feed the system many times over, the lack of control, the lack of distributed regiments and other guard units have meant that some worlds went into open revolt, being away from the light of the Astronomicon and the Emperor's watching eye. The populace of these various places have started to sway somewhat. Intellectual curiosity, innovation, and other heretical things like that have become commonplace. The arts on some worlds have flourished, while the underground fight rings on other worlds have taken over. There is talk of civil war in Avacris. There's talk of mutated giant monsters roaming the plains of Nethris now. The hives of Gilead Prime and Charybdion have become lawless, and the good and great of these societies have taken to hiring more and more personal guard and remaining high in their respective ivory towers. The once beautiful pilgrimage site of Enoch has become a desolate wasteland of bone, and their sanctuary moons and grave worlds. The grave world moon has become a place of horror and ghost stories. Veronius, the rogue trader, is a man who stands 6'6", broad-shouldered, regally adorned, kind of like a fucking sexy, well-dressed Idris Elba. We're talking here.
Oof.
He is usually flanked by his gaggle of ratings and lieutenants and officers on board this ship. And while he does not serve the regiment, he's very much claims, at least, to serve the Emperor and his goals. 3 months ago, you put down anchor in the high orbit of Gilead Primus, and negotiations and plans and highbrow stuff started to go on. We had vessels coming and going to Gilead and Enoch, and even as far away as Tribdian. The more militant among you will be glad to hear that it looks like the Ducal circlet is by far the largest and most capable vessel that the Gilead system has seen in some time. And while frigates and smaller classes are abound, the Gilead system itself does not have a fleet. As it stands, the arrival of the Minervan regiments has given Veronius the ability to negotiate from a position of power. While other systems, this populace might treat a rogue trader as just another merchant, here he is pretty much treated as royalty. The nominal command of the entire system falls to Lord Militant Taleria Philemon. She controls the Gilead Gravediggers, and they have a regiment some tens of thousands strong. They're spread thinly across all of the systems, doing the jobs of PDF or betas and generally keeping order where possible. The journey through the warp that took you here was by far the most tumultuous that you have experienced in your short or long military careers. What occurred during that, many have vowed never to speak again. Hundreds of people during the course of that time, especially those technicians working with the Geller field of the Ducal circlet, became overwhelmed with psychotic dreams, the scratchings from the inside of those whispers from the dark corners of the warp. Many were driven mad, and many were driven to acts much worse, all put down by the interrogator of the Ordo Hereticus that is on board the ship. To what end, you're not sure. During the course of the journey and the years before, the Ducal circlet needs basically to be entirely resupplied. This is a massive undertaking. It's like, well, a fairly large town pulling up and looking for food for everyone for months. In a place like this, it is hard to come by. Never mind the food, ammunition, and material is on the lips of the staff sergeant of the Minervan 5th, and it is with fairly short order that Commissar, I've forgotten your character's name already, Gex.
Horatio Vanglasen.
Commissar Vanglasen is asked to pick a squad of men to accompany the first lieutenant and a few other highfalutin types. We need you to go down to Gilead Prime to one of the spires and negotiate with some merchant houses there in order to get the best of what the Ducal circlet needs. It needs fresh blood pumping through its systems, both in terms of technicians and also material and food. The regiment itself is in dire need of ammunition, Mark III Lazpak rounds in vast quantities, and as much munitions for your artillery pieces that Avricus can spare.
Yes.
This order is given by Colonel Fry himself, and shuttle is provided to you. The journey will happen tomorrow at 0900 Terra Standard. Take 10 men. No more. Make sure they're in their finest wares. Make sure you take 10 men with good sense about them, he says, peering over from behind his magnificent moustache. I'll be sending down. Captain Spears to do some of the negotiation, and I'll be sending down Major Hallstrom or Narn to do the negotiation, and then I'll also, in tow, will be some of Veronius's people to do with the ship manifests and what they need to keep this thing afloat. Commandant D, I believe, is the man's name, and he'll be taking Adept Caben with him from the Adeptus Munitorum. Yes, it's just show detail, you know, these type of things. Anyway, so we'll have a lander ready, and then we'll be expecting the return flights of any of the wares over the next couple of days or weeks. At least we have the big guns in this area, hey?
Yes.
Right then. And he'll stand up, which is kind of and put his arms behind his back and kind of stretch out his chest. Off you go then. And he'll kind of bang the desk twice, which is kind of his way of telling you that he's done with you now.
I'll click my heels together, salute perfectly, and exit the room. Back to the quarters of the men and women.
As you said that rather creepily.
We're a mixed unit, I assume.
Oh yes, you are a mixed unit. It was just the way you
I want to leave the ladies out. I want to leave the ladies out.
No, I bet you didn't.
They're
okay,
excellent fighters. God damn it.
You take your. It's about a 2-hour journey back down to where the regiment have been stationed in 2 of the hangars and some of the bays designated to them. And during that time, you've been racking your brains to come up with exactly who you should take. So, Sam and Jed, if you will each, one of you at a time, grab that D20.
Good.
Roll the D20.
The dice of fate. 9.
Okay, so the character in front of you now, Jed, is number 1 of a PDF of 20 pages. So if you could count up 8. That's the slowest roll ever.
Number 9. Daffin Burnsy Burns.
Can I take it? This one's mine.
Yeah. So you can blow them up to read them a bit better. And okay, well if you rolled a 9 as well, that doesn't work. So roll it again.
I rolled a 5.
Oh, you rolled a 5. Okay.
Yeah.
So click up 4, and that's your dude.
I am Evelyn Tweak Coulson.
And what does the commissar? Well, what does the regiment know about you that the commissar doesn't? Why would the commissar have picked you? Because that's what he's thinking. Well, that little lady Evelyn seems to be spot on for this.
It's the eyes. It's her suggesting eyes. Maybe we'll get a better price.
But
it's implying he's entirely sexist. But
I mean, I'm not liking where this is going.
Hey man, you're going to be labeling a lot of people heretics and traitors in this, so I'm guessing they have any right to be labeling you stuff.
Yeah.
But that's fair enough. What I was trying to get at is, for each of these characters, I've written a little bit of background. So I know, obviously, I hit Sam with that question before he's read it. But down the end is a little bit of personality. or background of some note, possibly. Some of the characters might have a little bit more depth than the others, but it is only a couple of paragraphs. So have a quick read of that, and maybe
Oh,
then.
she's insane. I don't know why the fuck they'd ask her.
Yeah,
Hard
but
work
insane
takes-
could be good in a fucking battle.
Apparently, I'm incredibly paranoid,
Paranoid's excellent if you're fucking holding a
If
If you're on
position.
guard duty, yeah.
Yeah.
and I am a keen survivor.
There you go.
There we go. I'm dirty.
Character trait.
Yeah. I rub my shoulders a lot. Imagine she has very bitten fingernails.
Well, if it's not the perfect candidate, Commissar, I'm sure you have a reason for taking them, and maybe this is just the opportunity they need to really show
Or
Commi-
maybe you really want to
pride
shoot
of
them.
themselves.
The
Well, there
name at
is
the
that
top of
too.
my card doesn't match the name in the text.
Davis.
Because, yeah, the name at the top is Burnsy, and then there's a reference to Davis all the way through.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry,
He's got multiple personalities.
Identities.
Yeah.
I've changed it.
Cool.
So
Okay.
I went in with Daffod instead of
Davis.
Davis.
It's cool.
So your
Burnsy.
call. You want to be whatever.
Daffod's fine. Do I have to
Patricia.
do a bad Welsh accent?
That's
Yes.
entirely up to you.
Are these going to be like squad leaders, or are these just the random two troopers
No,
these guys are playing?
These are literally grunts.
Okay. Because
So it doesn't mean they're straight out of whatchamacallit school.
academy or whatever. They might have
Academy.
experience. Yeah.
They might have experience. We haven't discussed how old this regiment is when it was raised. I'm thinking you had a hand in the raising. And
Go with that.
like a group of basically they were when a tithe came around, if it was the year for the draft, 10,000 men were drafted to the regiment. A Lord Commissar would have come in, assigned commissars, would have worked with the Adeptus Militarum in order to, create this from scratch. Keeping the traditions of the other regiments raised by the Minervans. So these guys could be 18 years old or even younger, lied about their age, or they could be dogged veterans. I'm guessing if Sam's character is all twitchy and fucked up, and that could be a result of seeing shit on the battlefield.
I see shit, man.
Too many warp storms.
Right. Yes, Commissar, reporting for duty.
All right,
Oh.
Tweak and Burnsy, you'll be coming down with me to planet.
To planet.
Don't plan it.
Okay.
Where are we going? Planet?
Burnsy, your technical aptitude will come in handy for getting all of this all the stuff we need for the ship.
Aptitude. No one else
sure
coming
you
with
want me
us?
to go? What do you want me to do? What can I do there?
Just do what I say.
Do what he says,
yes,
Tweak.
Commissar.
The rest of your bunkmates in this enormous dormitory and
that's taking all my
living
dice.
quarters are looking around at the commissar. As soon as he kind of went to talk to you guys, who just coincidentally happened to be sitting near each other, or who happened to bunk near each other, he starts wandering the rest of the place, looking down his nose at the various other possible candidates to volunteer for this duty, and everyone is all of a sudden very busy. People are folding beds, people are running to the toilets, people are polishing their boots underneath beds, people are just making themselves scarce. There's a thinning of the crowd around you.
I'd like to find someone who might owe me a favour.
That is no problem.
And try and ask them if they would volunteer to go in my stead.
There's a
Am I
a
close
woman
enough to overhear this?
I don't know. Are you?
Well,
Continue,
you-
Gav.
If Gav takes me to,
you've
I'll
never
offer-
heard of a situation where somebody who's been chosen specifically for a role has managed to unchoose himself. So
Sure. Okay. Yeah.
we'll see what conversation happens. But yes, Maria Grist, who is a tech comm specialist with the 3rd platoon, owes you a favor. You got her parts for her Voxcaster.
Yeah.
And she bunks near Tweak.
Hey, Grist, you wouldn't want to say volunteer for this your this travel down to Planetside, would you? On account of, well, Commissar's looking for a technical specialist, and I reason being is what a good job you did with those parts I sourced for you recently. Like, you'd be a good match for it.
Hey, we're all doing stupid. Okay, I can't do stupid.
Yeah, no, it's fine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll do. Yeah, no problem.
Well,
Yeah, you just say it to the commissar there, and I'll get my uniform on right now. And she drags the boots out from underneath the bed, and she starts lacing them up. Now the flaw in your plan slowly dawns on you.
Commissar Vanglasen,
Yes.
Christia would love to go down to Planetside. She hasn't seen too much of it, and well, she's a good match for this. And in any case, it's always best to have a second pair of eyes when you're looking at technical equipment and that.
Are you trying to get out of your duties, soldier?
I wouldn't dream of it, Commissar. Only it as I say.
I have ordered you. I have ordered you to come down to that planet. Are you refusing to carry out that order?
Absolutely not, sir. Absolutely not, sir. I am attempting to instill some greater spirit in the Imperium with my
Are you trying to question my methods or my motivations or my orders?
Oh my.
I'm attempting to replicate them through greater spirit, sir. Emulate your leadership, sir.
Yeah,
soldier,
you can hear all of this.
You have demonstrated to me that you are too cowardly for this mission, and there is one punishment for cowardice, and it is death.
Oh, no, sir! No, sir! No, sir!
I'll not hear any more of your heresy. And I'll blam.
Oh fuck! Holy shit, that was quick. I was not expecting that. Okay, you put out a bolt pistol. You give him some sort of final words, or maybe you say them over the corpse.
1 second, let me just. No, traitors don't deserve prayer. His spirit won't be going. His spirit won't be going to the Emperor.
There's an echoing boom around this massive dormitory room. We're talking like football field size, stadium size. And it just echoes and reverberates. And as the echo fades after 4 or 5 seconds, you can hear a fucking pin drop. There's the creak of one of the swinging toilet doors from the other side of the hall. Everyone looks around, and Tweak is sitting there tweaking away.
I'm tweaking, but at attention.
And
I can't quite stand still, but I'm at attention.
And Grist is there, bent over, one hand or two hands doing one of her bootlaces up. Her she's in a not string vest, the a sleeveless kind of vest top thing, and her combat's on.
Sure.
And that white top, the wall behind her, her face and her short blonde hair are just entirely covered in Daffod's brain matter and blood, all streaked up the wall. Everyone looks around. After a couple of seconds, there's an audible intake, and then the commissar's words of "traitors don't deserve prayers."
Yeah,
traitors don't deserve prayers.
His soul will not go to the Emperor, and the Emperor is the last word that echoes through the hall. and all of a sudden, a lot of people stand to attention at the foot of their bed, like they would have done in training camp. And
I'll
they're
point.
looking
I'll point
eager
to.
and ready for service.
I'll point to two soldiers and just say, "Clean up that mess." And I'll look at Grist and I'll say, "You seem keen to come down to the planet. Get yourself cleaned up. I'll not have you looking so unkempt. You're coming with me to the planet."
She stands up as a bit of brain matter dribbles off her right cheek and she salutes, shaking.
I'll be saying under my breath, there is only the Emperor. He is our shield and protector. There is only the Emperor. He is our shield and protector.
Correct.
I'm just going to make a quick page in my OneNotes thing of death.
Death within 2 minutes.
Can we keep a blam counter?
Dapid.
Yeah.
2 minutes.
Burnsy.
He will never see the valleys again, that boy.
Jed, pick up that D20.
We'll see
Gonna
the valleys
get
of
used to that.
hell.
Have we got a page for Grist? I'll just place her, or
Yeah, she'll be coming.
Nope. There'll be another one. Don't worry. Plenty more where these came from.
15. Okay, cool.
See, we're on 9, so count up 6 or whatever.
I've got a page number in the bottom here. Joram Ezkril. Muscular, hardened man with dusky skin and a goatee.
Joram, you'll be coming down with us.
Yes, sir.
That's what I like to hear. Get your kit together. We'll be leaving in, I don't know, some minutes.
Yes, sir. Right away, sir.
Having survived a brief stint as an Eldari slave, I'm not sure I like the sound of that. I'm sure it won't come up.
He never talks about his captivity.
Consulting with Xenos. No, that's.
Okay, so the roll of honors or dishonors, the death toll. Let's call it just that. David Burnsy, Cardus, executed by Commissar Glassen. Session 1.
Oh my god.
Tome.
Somehow, rarely, the commissar goes around and picks his 10 men and women to escort the dignitaries and the Munitorum specialists to the surface of Gilead. This will be the first time many of you will have seen the world, or indeed outside of this spacecraft. Since the windows came up after the Gellerfield was dropped and you translated back into real space, many of you have taken walks down the sanctified long corridors of the Ducal Circlet and stared out into space at this murky, cloudy, filthy looking world. But even at this stage, real air, polluted as it might be, probably better than the stale sweat and reprocessed air that you've been breathing for the last 6 months. Is there any special preparations you would like to make?
Bite my fingernails.
Keep them nice and short. Got to say, very clean.
I will unload and reload all of my clips of ammo.
Fair.
Selection of a selection of second company soldiers have been assembled by Commissar Vanglasen. And the next morning at 9 a.m. Imperial Standout, you are all assembled on Flight Bay 4B, a small flight bay housing a strange-looking Adeptus Astartes craft, and then some more perfunctory standard system flyers and lifters. You are arranged there all in dress uniform with the polished las guns and holstered auto pistols of your regiment, looking as best as you can make it. You are standing at attention of 2 lines of 5 at the entrance ramp, waiting for the dignitaries,
Oh boy.
who come fairly much on time. Commandant Sisyphon D, who is XO of the Ducal Circlet, is being sent down by Veronius to the planet to negotiate directly with Lord Militant Philemon. With him is the witch, the psychic adept Eftan Caban, and a host of no, not a host. We'll say the Mechanicus woman. Oh, it's not a woman, is it? On board the ship.
That distinction's probably
the-
lost a while ago.
Yes, true. The Transmarine, which is the naval marine attached to the ship Tau Ceti Pi 445. He clatters in on his spidery 6 insectoid legs, flailing mechadendrites and arms, caped in his red and black with the ever-present cog symbol of the Omnissiah. He holds his staff of office, and he uses it to support a swaying frame beneath this cluster of legs. He ignores everyone and skitters up the back ramp of the vehicle, putting, it seems, as he goes, looking around at the state of this dilapidated craft. While Sisyphon and Bertrand are just chatting away to themselves. Sisyphon and Caban are chatting away to themselves, sharing some sort of joke that you're only catching the end of. Sisyphon seems to have a very haughty, you could be polite and say well-educated accent. He seems to be a little bit of a tough. While Caban is looking around, he seems to, even though he's paying attention to Commandant D, he seems to be looking around, checking his shoulders, his bent head, his kind of his eyes shifting left and right. He manages somehow to catch everyone's eye and just, give them that moment of "I've seen you," which is particularly scary when it's coming from a psyker. He just seems off to you all. Anyway, they're all laughing and joking, and they board. They move up towards the cockpit area where the servitor and the pilot sit. The engines are already warming up, and Commissar, over to you. You're ordering the men aboard.
All right, get up, ship shape, strap yourselves in, stow your gear.
Yes, Commissar.
This is a friendly world, theoretically, but be prepared for anything.
This is the Emperor's way.
Indeed.
I'll follow in wordlessly. Yeah.
Yeah, good idea, Chet.
You plod your ways in and sit down, strap up in this ancient flyer, stowing your gear in the bin underneath your feet or behind your feet. The journey down from the Ducal Circlet.
Just before we
Yes.
before we depart, I'll recite the litany of protection. Mighty Emperor, spread your divine light to protect us from the darkness.
Some of the members of the regiment begin to mouth the words or like murmur the words along with you.
That was it.
Sorry.
It's a pretty short litany.
Well, yeah.
Oh, actually,
It-
there's
it-
the litany of the vacuum. If we're traveling through space, O most high and holy Emperor, I see your light and feel your presence. Keep us safe from the void and vacuum, and see us home to the glory fields of war.
with these solemn words, that these solemn words are punctuated by the massive clank of the rear bay doors pistoning shut, and the whirl of the engines kick into life as dust is kicked out across the docking bay. The massive doors of the bay slide open left and right, and with a jerk, this lifter climbs up on one side, then half a second later climbs up on the other. It shivers for a bit, a couple of feet off the ground. You're all shaken, and it progresses out into the void. There's the little glimmer some of you can just see across the windows at the front of the cockpit through the doors into it, where the void shield just interacts with the particles and the ice that's formed on the glass, and you pass out into the merciless void of space. It is a short journey, only 200 to 300 miles, before you hit the upper layers of the atmosphere of Gilead Primus. And not 2 minutes later are you at the height of the primary spire. As you begin to descend, you swear you can feel the heat coming through the ground of the vessel, coming through the floor of the vessel. Moments later, the shaking and the rattling subsides, and you get that sensation that we've hit air again. Now, even though it might be tumultuous and possibly lethal, but if you open a door or a window, you'd be once again in a gravity well and breathing air, fresh air, non-ship air. You look down. This hive is a conical spire. It has enormous flying buttresses either side of it, from about 2/3 of the way down, that spread concavely out kilometers either side, taking up this entire landmass. All around is an ocean. It must span out from the center. It's probably got a radius of 50, 60, 70 kilometers. And amongst these flying buttresses are enormous arcologies and subspires. And the world, at least this city, looks enormous and populated. It looks like you could get lost forever here. But as the pilot kicks in the thrusters and brings you to an almost hover, you realize you won't be descending any further than the ivory spires of the upper echelons of society. Moments later, after some communication with the the planetary defense forces and the automated systems, the flyer sets down on a beautifully maintained pad several kilometers from the surface, jutting sideways from the tallest spire. Alongside the dilapidated vessel of the Ducal Circlet is a sleek private flyer that must be manufactured on this world. It's all glass and some sort of shiny ceramite. It has swivel thrust engines, and it's perched delicately on three fragile-looking legs, very much a peacetime craft. The as the doors open and your men disembark, Commissar, you notice standing at the entrance, between two Gilead Tempestus Scions
Mm.
is what you can only assume is Lord. What's her fucking title again? Lord Militant Philemon. These Tempestus Scions wear the black of the Gravediggers with their red, red chased armor patches or armor plates, and their dark black visors in the full plasteel, transparent plasteel face guard with just two blinking red lights where their eyes should be. They're holding what looked like some sort of variant short barrel las gun that
That's
you
carbine.
aren't that you haven't seen before.
Ooh.
Again, possibly a variant from this system's Forge World. You get a slight nod from Philemon. The two guards remain implacable. And as you stand to attention as your betters, well, as the XO of the ship and his advisor come down the ramp along with the clacking legs of the nav marine or the nav engineer,
Transmarine.
transmarine. Sorry. They all scuttle off while your men and yourself follow. You're welcomed in, and you and your men are shown to side room. And again, the XO seems perfectly okay with this. Commandant D, as in DEE, is seems to be confident. He seems to know her. He addresses her at first. He kind of snaps his heels and gives a salute to Lord Militant, and he'll bow his head as well. And but then you catch him using her first name
Ooh.
as they walk into what looks like a boardroom as such, with just the dark stained clouds out the windows of the armored glass on the far side. You get the impression that they may be here for some time. The tech adept has his way.
Hmm. Very well.
So the Tempesticines are mute brutes. They, apart from grunting and maybe pointing, you won't get much out of them. There is, after a few minutes of you being in this waiting room, a servant in the livery of the ruling house of this hive world will of yellow and blue will bring in a tray with several jugs of water and glasses for you and your men, and you'll basically have several hours to wait here.
Hmm.
The men and women seem happy enough. They have an utterly spectacular view of, well, a fairly grim place, but at
Yeah.
least it's not in the ship. And that sensation of having real gravity. It's only a small thing, but you definitely can feel the difference just having that real gravity beneath you. There's no fluctuations as you walk.
It hits differently. Yeah.
I never get used to this real gravity. All that time rock hopping.
Aye.
Ezkril is standing very still.
It's alright. At ease, men. We might be here for some time while the knobs go about their business.
I will very briefly glance my eyes at the Commissar and go back to standing very still.
I am incapable of being at ease.
Very well.
Yeah, and the other people are like that. As soon as the Commissar says it is, you know, these guys have been cooped up for quite a while. It's like You'll have people just leave down their rifles, you'll note, while walking, towards the window, having a chat. As soon as the water is brought in, even though it's just water, it's like there's a queue to pour from the jug to get a glass of water. They're just kind of itching for something.
That's fine.
Approximately 2 hours pass.
Christ.
It's getting towards what would normally be considered midday. The light has changed beyond the clouds outside. However, it's not really gotten any brighter or darker, or there's no pinpoint to it beneath these fairly dense clouds. It's just somewhat changed. After so after about 2 hours, you'll hear Dee's voice and Caben, and you'll hear a kind of a deep, resonant female voice, a woman, obviously Lord Militant Philemon, who, like I said, is probably in her 60s or thereabouts. A big woman, a woman who's served on the battlefield as well as, well, she's kept her strength as such. And yeah, you'll hear them chat out in the corridor outside. The men will all kind of shift around. Glasses will be put down. Las rifles will be picked up. People will get ready to snap to attention. It's like a pre-state of mind for pre-attention. Everyone will get their shit together, and you'll see them outside. And D will give you the nod, as in, okay, ready to go.
All right, men. Attention. Grab your gear. We're ready to go.
The men lead ahead of their charges back out onto the pad, and the men all file in, stow their guns, drop themselves in, and you're behind D and Caben. And as you take your seat at the very back, you'll see Caben go up and sit down, and then you'll see Commandant D stick his head into the cockpit, say something to the pilot. Pilot will in turn say, you'll hear just plot new course. When the server will go course plotted, and bit of a change of plan, he'll shout over the engines as they start up and the ramp closes again.
What kind?
I think we're going to go for a bit of a drink. Get your men to stow their weapons.
I can't do that, sir. We're here for your protection.
Oh, for God, sidearms only.
Hearing the suggestion that I stow my weapon, I'm looking around kind of wildly and wanting to make sure that no one's actually doing that.
Yes.
Well, your main lasguns are basically put in a footlocker that you're kind of sitting on top. It's underneath the bench of either side that you're facing each other on this lander. This is very much a utilitarian lander, so it's got like bench seats and like lots of storage and netting and stuff like that. It's not ain't nothing fancy.
I recognise that
But
XOD
yeah, no.
is... Sorry.
Yes.
I
No, you were right.
I was going to say he's not
He's
part of my
attached.
chain of command, but if I'm
No.
working on behalf of the rogue
It's you,
trader,
a Lord
I feel like
Commissar.
I should
Yeah.
potentially acquiesce to this if I feel it's necessary.
You're working on behalf of the regiment.
Right.
Well, you're working on behalf of the commissariat,
Yes.
who is charged with keeping the morale and the souls of the morale of these men and the regiment in a state where they are capable of doing the Emperor's will.
My Lord D, do you feel like this is a safe situation? I'm uncomfortable with removing my men's primary weapons.
there's 10,000. He's kind of shouting this back to you.
Mm.
There's 10,000 Gilead grave diggers here. We're staying in the top spires, and Philemon's given us a nice place to go to. We'll be fine.
Mm.
You can stay on the flyer if you want. We'll only be a few hours. The boss isn't expecting us back until 6.
We'll stay with you. But, very well. Sidearms only, men. Leave your las guns in the flyer.
Are you sure?
Well, he's sure he's got a fucking bolt pistol.
Yeah, I'm sure. Whatever comes at us, we can handle it.
You know best.
So, auto pistols only, I guess.
Can I keep a grenade with me?
Excellent thinking, Krill.
You're in your dress uniforms. So what are the dress uniforms?
You'd have a drop leg holster, and you might be able to stow a grenade.
Oh, you could stash a grenade, definitely.
Yeah, stash a
and
grenade.
I
like your thinking, Krill. Keep it up.
Thank you, Commissar. The Emperor blesses me with ideas.
And they're usually to carry more explosives.
I'm sure he does. What were you getting at?
What I was getting at there is, okay, what does the Minervan uniform look like? And then what does their dress uniform look like?
Well, a standard uniform's going to be, just sort of olive drab flak jacket, surely. Standard guard, Imperial Guard stuff, and then...
Yep.
What do you guys feel our dress uniform should look like? Because mine's going to be a standard commissariat uniform.
I'm imagining us as wearing dark colours. I'm not talking khaki.
But as a dress uniform.
Oh,
yeah,
I don't know, dress uniform.
like a charcoal grey.
Ooh, charcoal grey.
Like a charcoal grey with a gold trim.
Ooh, maybe like a gold sash.
Yes,
with
like
an
sashes.
Era. If it was an era of military uniform, harkening back to nowadays or this world, like the way we saw that picture earlier that Sam posted up, and the commanders looked like they were from the Napoleonic Wars or the Peninsula campaigns.
Maybe like that, like grey with like a stripe down the side of the leg.
Hold on, I got this.
And knee-high boots with no laces, like cavalry boots.
Yes, yeah.
Like that. And
I'm jack boots. Let's call it what they are.
I mean,
yes,
the SS were like some of the best dressed soldiers in history.
I'm imagining our combats is going to be like greys or blacks. We're not wearing camo.
Really? Yeah, that's fair.
Because we're a Hive world-based siege-breaking unit. We're not.
Yeah,
I like the charcoal greys.
How about this for dress uniform?
Like a straight out black is the commissariat, and I don't think it'd clash.
That's our dress uniforms.
Still the best thing I've seen to date is being stood in the middle of Foy looking out of a window as the carnival went past and some dudes went past with a Land Rover with a missile and dressed up like North Koreans. It's still the best thing I've seen. Foy? No, not the French town, the Cornish one.
Oh, Foy. Sorry, yeah. I forgot that was a thing.
It's still the best thing I've ever seen, just totally out of the blue.
So yes.
Okay, but I like the idea of like either the dark browns or the charcoal greys with like a gold sash or a red stripe down the leg or something like that.
Yeah,
shoulder pads or something. Yeah,
a dark grey and gold. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So we'll say a charcoal grey gold, and then your fatigues will be that same sort of thing. So like blacks and things, and your vehicles will be painted that sort of color. maybe modified depending on the environment you're in, but that's done per campaign.
Yeah.
Color is the stripe on our leg.
Ooh. Navy blue. No.
But
Orange.
not also gold?
Orange.
Yeah,
No,
maybe
it's gotta-
gold.
It's got to be another
Yeah.
color. You got to have the third color there. You got your
Okay. What will complement?
color
Right. Okay. Give me
theory
a second.
wheel. Charcoal grey, any color will complement that.
White, just straight up white.
Eh,
Something harkening back to the founding, Athena,
Uh,
Minerva,
I feel like a deep orange.
JCB
like.
yellow.
like
Yeah.
like a blue, like a royal blue.
I could do.
Yeah,
Grey
royal
and
blue's
white.
been mentioned a few times, so
Yeah,
let's go
we'll
with
go
royal
blue.
blue.
Blue
Royal
will
blue
do.
and gold work together. Okay, so
Yes.
you're dressed in your fineries. The commissar is wearing his dress uniform as well, under, I assume, his long coat.
Oh,
because he has
absolutely.
standards.
That's needs to be surgically removed.
And you guys have any medals and commendations pinned to your left breast below the Aquila.
Absolutely.
Does Jed, Sam, do either of you have less or more than the other? Like who's showier? Who is
Oh, definitely not me.
ostensibly?
I have some, and they are all like commendations for bravery and things.
I
Yeah.
have my tent putting up badge and starting a fire with a stick badge.
Probably some kind of
Happy
lone
and
survivor
related.
badge.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah,
Okay.
just many purple hearts.
And then he's got all the Iron Crosses,
Yeah.
Fifth Order or whatever. Yeah. Okay. Sorry, Tweak and Jed. What was your guy's name?
Joram Escrill. Sorry.
Ezkril.
I'm just looking
Escrill.
at it.
And what do the lads call you? Are they too scared to call you anything else?
Ezkril.
Escrill. Okay.
Escrill, I say.
Okay, so the flyer swerves in and around some of the spires of the some of the peaks of the other spires that are coming up this high. And after dropping a couple of 100 meters and flying into a denser cluster of spires around which you see lots of these stylized kind of three-pod flyers with this vector thrust system that they seem to have. Almost reminds you of insects that you've maybe seen pics of or read about, if any of you can read. And above, it pulls in and docks on another platform. This is a wide semicircular platform that's has many flyers, again privately owned, high class looking things, and in a black marble sign, recessed letters, is the word millennia written chased in gold. And it seems to be a darkened glass fronted place with dark shifts of semi-transparent curtains, again protecting the best and brightest of Gilead from the horrors of the outside world. You follow D and Caban in, and some of you are immediately put. Well, you don't, I'm assuming, like it at all, but this looks like a cocktail bar, late afternoon, towards. Well, there's no such thing as we know in the Emperor's Imperium of a working week. That'd be heresy. But towards the end of a hard day's work for some people. And there's people in here already dressed to the nines. We've got low but backed cocktail dresses, suits of all sorts of flamboyant colours. There's people drunk over in the corner. You can see some sort of gaming table, kind of like a roulette that they used to have back on Minerva. There's another table of gentlemen playing cards. with the dealer there dressed in a very formal kind of servant's wear. And there's servants bringing drinks out from behind the bar to the various booths around the edge. Most of the tall tables in the middle are sitting on a herringbone dark wooden floor, and they seem to be quite empty at the moment. The lights are all very low, and even though, the outskirts of the bar is kind of occupied, and the lights hang low to the table, giving the people who are there light to see themselves and talk. However, the rest of the place is kind of gloomy. There's a general air of laughter and happiness here. And there's a gentle plinking of some unusual foreign alien string, well, not alien in that sense, string instrument going in the background, but you cannot see the source of the noise. Take a seat, gentlemen. 3 months or 6 months locked up in the bloody ship. First round's on me, says D. And you can see him unbutton the starched top collar of his shirt and pull out a sort of a fake cravat sort of thing that he kind of folds up and jams in a pocket. And he goes up to the bar. Haben looks around with this fucking lizard-like grin, eyes up to some of you that are still not fighting to get a seat against the window or whatever, and he just eyeballs you with almost seems sharpened canine teeth. And he kind of ushers somebody in a real creepy way, and probably one of the women. And he'll go into, there's probably 3-4 booths are occupied by you guys, of the 10, 11, 12, 13 here. Oh, sorry, I never mentioned that the adept stayed behind to sort out other stuff.
Oh, I can't.
Yeah.
All right,
Sorry,
gentlemen.
not the adept. The Navmarine.
Transmarine.
Transmarine, I keep forgetting that.
I would like to sit in a position where I can see and hear the commissar, but not so I'm so close, not within touching distance.
I will not drink. I will only drink water. And I'll say, all right, men, you can have 1 beer each, but I'll have no intoxication. Intoxication on duty is punishable by death. So 1 beer and then drink water.
I'm just going to drink water.
The servant comes over. There's jugs
1
of
drink, I would say. Yeah.
There's not jugs, but there'll be glasses, kind of steins of beer with handed out to some people. There's jugs of fruit juices and water left down on the table. They recognize you're possibly on service. D and Caben appear a moment later, already seeming a little bit drunk with these steaming, frothy cocktails of odd fluorescent blues and greens and pinks, and they're just having a drink and having a laugh, and it seems to be kind of at your expense, Commissar. Or at least they seem to enjoy, very much Caben seems to enjoy the uncomfortable position that you've been put in. The men and women are as kind of as tetchy as this whole situation makes you feel. Looking around the crowd, these are dilettantes and upper class. What's the word? Like
Society
Knobs.
folks.
Society folk, knobs, if you're so inclined, and like
Nonsense.
when like daddy leaves you with massive fun,
Trust fund babies.
trust fund babies. That's the word I was looking for. Trust fund babies and things like that. This is an element of Minervan society. This is alien to Minervan society. Minervan society, although very much egalitarian,
Egalitarian.
that's the one,
Yeah.
is not. I don't know. Maybe it's people don't flaunt it like this. Maybe you've never been in a place like this and they do exist, but it's this place seems different. Maybe maybe being warp-locked for so long. Even in 3 short years, you can't picture an entire society going to,
Standards have
Decadent.
slipped.
decadence in 3 years, but maybe standards have slipped somewhat.
I have a
Of course,
slightly curled upper lip in disgust, which I hide behind my mug of water.
it is a little difficult, you sharing the booth with Caban, D, and of course Tweak, because that would make her most uncomfortable. And
Yeah, I'm holding
I'll
the
give-
grip of my pistol,
I
still
give-
twitching.
I give a thin smile only with my mouth whenever they joke. My eyes never smile. Humouring them.
looking around the rest of the bar for the more duty focused of you, there doesn't seem to be a threat here. There's no big burly bouncers. There doesn't seem to be need for it. There's no one that any of you would consider dangerous in your limited scope and opinion.
Not dangerous to us.
After about 40 minutes, the two gentlemen, the XO and the adept, are about 3 or 4 drinks in when they stand and declare to the table, that is the Commissar and Tweak, that, "Oh, come on," says D. "We should play some games. Wait till you see Caban's trick. He's really good at this. We'll win a little bit of money. Just follow Caban's lead."
Games? Oh, I don't know if I like the sound of that. Okay.
"Oh, ladies and gentlemen, you have to learn to live a little. That's one thing I have to say. I'm very glad that I didn't join the Emperor's regiments when I was younger. I'm glad I went the private route. There's more freedom, would you say, Caban?" Oh, yes, Sisyphon, I would. Lot more freedom.
Do I need
Now-
to roll to stop myself from yelling at this guy?
I don't know. Do you need to?
I'm feeling cross at his suggestion that any of that for so-called freedom wasn't hard won by the Emperor himself and his regiments.
I will give Eskrill a very pointed look and just slightly shake my head. Just like, it's not worth it.
So, Caban seems to drag D towards the gaming tables. If any of you want to go, whether it's to guard them or just play or just observe.
Who is it who just suggested the idea? Was it D or Caban?
So D suggested it, but
Okay.
Caban seems to be. D was talking to you, and Caban seems to be dragging him away.
Well, I'll just say to D, as you know, it's forbidden. Well, had you served in the guard, you would know that it's forbidden for my men to gamble. So we'll continue as we were, but we'll be here if you need us.
Well, I'd like to refer you back to my first statement. Commissar, freedom. And he turns and slaps Caban on the shoulder, which he seems to kind of sink into himself and kind of bit of worm tongue in him. And they both go over towards the tables. Moments later, you're kind of standing up from your booth with your back against the other lads, back against the couches that are facing each other. And you can hear the raucous laughter over there, and like Caban and all the people in the table. And Caban seems to be very much the charismatic centerpiece of whatever's happening over there. And it seems like everyone's having a great time. Another few minutes, you see a tray or two more come from the bar towards there. You note that your men and women very dutifully have Some of them have had a beer. Most of them have had nothing. Or, just the fruit juice or just the water that's there. And just as you're kind of inspecting them, keeping an eye on them, and you turn back around to the bar, and there's even more raucous laughter, and there's like, and you can just overhear D now. He's kind of drunk. No, well, he's early stages of drunk, and his voice has gotten louder, and it's like, now let's all on 23. No, what? Which one, Kate? All on 8. And you'll see Caven move across some chips onto 8, and all the people, you'll see, the girls will be clapping their hands and like jumping up and down, and there seems to be, like, even at this stage, you can see like some sort of manager from behind the bar, or maybe some sort of table manager for the gaming, is kind of, looking down up has his chin up, and he's looking down his nose at the situation, and whether his employers will be losing large swathes of credits. And then you can hear tick, tick, as some ball, you assume, you can't even see it from here, bounces around this table, and you can hear it slowly gets slower. It slowly gets quicker and quicker and quicker.
I'd like to watch the staff who are monitoring this and see how they respond.
My ears and eyes pricked up when he put his money on number 8.
Is 8 significant?
That's not for you to know, soldier.
You look around the
Yes, sir.
bar.
Thank you, sir.
You look around the bar, and you see there's 2 young ladies who are going around and collecting glasses. And they're wearing extremely revealing clothing for a place like this. I know you might not be kind of au fait with this type of society, but it just seems out. Like all the other women who are here that have money are dressed a lot more conservatively. There seems to be an older man behind the bar, a jet black hair with flecks of grey around the temples. And he seems to be maybe the manager or something. He was the guy that was looking down their nose over at the situation. There's a rather plump woman in a very formal kind of servant's outfit of like a black waistcoat with a white blouse, and she's the dealer, the game runner at this table that they're all playing with. There's other women
Croupier.
and men, croupier. There's other men and women dealing cards around the place.
Has there been a change in the croupier's demeanour since the bet was placed? The last bets were placed.
No, the croupier seems like. Give me first roll of the game. Give
Ooh.
me I'll actually need to look at a character sheet for this because I don't know. I
it's
think
like
it was probably
insight,
going to be
perception.
an
There's
insight.
some
It is
perception,
going to be
yeah,
an insight. Yes, because it's somebody's demeanor opposed to
Have
just.
insight as a skill. Is that an intelligence roll?
So it should be fellowship.
Yeah.
So if it's
So,
0,
yeah.
you should still have a total there. So
I
it should give you
have
a
a
total.
2 of fellowship, so yeah.
So 1 and 1 of your wrath dice.
A 5. 5 in the wrath, and a 3.
So the wrath is only important if it's a 6 or a 1.
Yeah.
So that's 1 success.
One success.
And you know what? You see it like it is. The woman, this aforementioned plump woman dressed quite smartly, is like laughing along, and she catches herself. She raises her hand at one point towards her nose in order to cover her mouth, to hide the fact that she's laughing so much. She lowers her hand again. She moves chips around, or checks something on the table, and then you catch her surreptitiously looking up at the bar manager or the gaming manager, that older man. And you can feel, although you're not entirely sure why, but you can feel she's done something wrong. She seems to be having a great time. A suspiciously great time. I know that might not make any sense. And as the ball falls into the slot on the table, and it's like, and then there's an raucous eruption, and drinks are spilled, and there's woo, and everyone's cheering, and all of a sudden you can see Caban just twitch and shake, and you can see this muscle spasm on the side of his head that is not where muscles are, and then his neck snaps to the left entirely, so his ear smashes into his shoulder. He flies up from the ground up to the ceiling. That's about 14 feet above him, and his left ear, or his right ear is on his shoulder. His left ear smashes into the ceiling, entirely shatters his neck. His you can see spine and blood. He drops to the ground again in this flailing, twitching mass of blood, and then hysterics break loose again around the table. The woman who is dealing falls back off her high stool. The men and women that are there scatter from the table. This is D included, Commandant D included. He trips, and you can see him fall and go out of view. It's then where you can feel, like some of you that only heard the noise but didn't see the spectacle, your hands are all of a sudden freezing, and you look down, and your beer or your fruit juice or whatever it was has frozen solid in your glass. You look around at the other men and women around you, and you see ice particles on their eyelids and on their skin, and the temperature has just plummeted to about minus 30 Celsius.
To arms, men.
There's a tearing, ripping, wet flesh sound, and there's a hideous laughter of something far beyond what is visible.
And to flip the table and take cover behind it.
Don't
To
flip
arms,
the table
man.
in Tabletop Simulator.
No.
We are going to roll initiative.
I need a wee really bad.
Yeah, go for it. We can take a break.
Okay, 2-minute break.
Okay.
Sam, just before we break, can you see what I just pasted? Massive table on top of our table.
Yes.
Okay.
Confirmed.
Now it's going to hover over our table so we can keep it, and this is what I'm going to. Well, we don't have a bar as such. Or sorry, I can't draw on this because it's floating above the ground table, and I believe I can only draw on the base table. Let me just confirm that.
Oh,
No,
yeah, you're drawing on the top. Oh.
that's not entirely true. Oh, and then I fucking did undo. I'm so used to Photoshop. Sorry.
But yes, I will have liked to have flipped the table and be cowering. Well, not cowering, but covering.
Yeah, covering.
Yeah.
Sounds fine. Okay, so we lock that. I get my drawing tool out.
I'm assuming she's not meant to be a coward, this woman, but she is a survivalist.
She is more of a survivor than
okay.
anything. You know what I mean? She can take it. She has seen maybe not the craziest of shit, but she's definitely been in circumstances which would have made weaker men and women just shatter.
Her background suggests, being alone for a long time.
Yes.
Yeah. Cool.
I don't know why the shape of this brush is as it is, so we probably will get some very unusual drawings. I don't think there's anything I can do about that. It just seems to be a big dirty oval. I think it's got something to do with point of view of which you're. Let me see, can I make this any smaller? No. Okay, so there's going to be an ugly map, but it don't matter. So, arbitrary squares, doesn't really matter. What we've got is the bar. This is the main public area of the bar. In the back corner, we have several gaming tables. These are like roulette tables, except they seem to be quite much longer. We'll draw a third one here. And then around here, there is large circular card tables. We have a little mini bar here, We have a main bar here. We've got the entrance doors beside the main bar. And in the back, we'll probably have another door here. It is surrounded on this side and this side. This is all glass. But it's spire glass, so it's probably an inch thick, or plasteel. In the center are all a hive of those tables that are about 4.5 feet tall, with stools around them. They're all the stools are all tucked in and they're all empty. And then down here and all the way around are booths.
Come back.
And you guys are in the booths by the entrance. So you guys are occupying 2 of these at the time being. See these 2 here. That one and that one. We'll throw another one there. So yeah, and there's,
Civilians.
large dance floor type, so there's going to be loads of these tables with stools tucked in underneath them there.
Lovely map. I especially like how it looks like an angry face in the corner.
Oh yeah. So what we
Heresy
have
looks like.
essentially is a little red dude there. And then we have a little green dude in the form of Commandant D, and he will have been pushed by the maddening crowd and kind of dropped in underneath over there. So if you'll bear with me for just a moment, I just have to get the rules for this particular beastie. So, amidst the tearing sounds and the cackling laughter that comes from far away, another dimension, one might say, and the screams and panics of all the people running around, you hear the commissar shout, "To attention, men! The temperature has utterly dropped. People are freaking." Nobody looking around the crowd, or from what you see in a split second, nobody coerced this to be, or seems to have expected it. Everyone is shitting themselves. And initiative. So this is going to be our first combat, so it might take a while. And I think after this combat, we're going to call it a night. It's 9:45 now. So I'm guessing it'll last half an hour. Who knows? So if you guys want to put your your miniatures on the table where you're standing and sitting, if you just see, I probably can't with those models, but see if you can color their bases.
Jed, I made you one there. You're the one called Jed.
Hang on, you've got.
Thank you.
Oh, that's
They
the
look
same
guardsmen.
as. Yeah, but Jed's got a Skitari one there.
Oh yeah, I can colour
Yeah.
my base. Yeah.
Well, I'll play as a guardsman for the minute, and then
Oh, sorry. Yes. Yeah. Okay. Obviously. Yeah.
what colour do I want to be?
I'm white.
Well,
Yeah,
you
just
make yourself blue because that's your table.
your game color.
Spot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
the
pretty dark
non-coloured
because
one.
it's very dark. Okay, so this area is big. It's big in the same way that when you walk into an extremely posh, stupid clothes shop, they have 10 items of clothes and it's a big shop. It's that type of place. So we got lots of open space. It's each of these squares is. Oh, hang on, that's stupid. Let's not worry about the squares for the time being.
Okay.
Let's just use this as an arbitrary scale, and we'll say it's 2 turns to get to this gaming table.
Yep.
Because I think the squares are meant to be 5
I could
meters.
just times it by 4,
No.
make it 4 squares as 1.
Make them 1 meter.
Hang on, I
Make
think
squares a
they're
metre
meant to be
each.
1 meter, aren't they? Because 1 meter would be 6
4 foot.
squares would be 6 meters, which would be 30 feet, which is the same. I think they use the same scale as D&D. So, okay,
30 feet
that
is
would
10
mean
meters.
10,
30
15,
feet is 10 meters.
10 meters. That seems a bit excessive for booths. But fuck it, it doesn't matter. Yeah, okay,
30
let's.
feet is 6 meters, isn't it? No? Yeah, no. I'm
Yes.
stupid, yes.
And you should have your movement on
Yeah,
your
you
character
could, right.
sheet should be something along the lines of 6, I believe. Modified.
Yeah. At least my Skitari, my speed is 6.
Yeah. So
What?
you can move 6 squares. So that's
Yeah. What if we
That's
just made it so it's 4 instead of 1? 4 squares is 1.
one
Because that
round
makes
of
it about
movement.
makes it about 2 turns. So 1,
Oh,
2,
yes, I get you.
3,
Yes, yeah,
4,
yeah.
5, 6.
Okay, so yes, that works.
So that's a square. I'm
In
stood
fact,
in.
no, let's just use an arbitrary. Don't worry about the grid at all. Let's just say it's
Okay.
2 turns to there, and we'll just do it like we did in Numenera.
Yep.
Okay, so initiative. First of all, let's.
Does anyone want to go first?
Who wants to go first?
That's how it works, isn't it? I
Considering
would like to go first.
You would like to go first? You do
I
have a
volunteered to
grenade.
go first.
Very well. I'll let you go first. I love volunteers.
Yeah, I'll roll against Gex. There you go. So
Very
we can
well.
roll some dice. What is it? 4. We got 4
Yeah, now,
initiative.
this is I think
2
a
initiative.
maneuver that will not include a wrath dice, although I might be
Yes.
wrong. So you're not vying against each other, really, not in competition,
So I rolled 2 4s
which is 2 successes. Why are you rolling 2?
because I have 2 initiative.
Okay, and Gex, you've
I had
only
one
2
success.
initiative.
I don't know. Where is
Okay, so
You got 4 initiative.
Okay,
Alright,
so well,
4.
we'll start with volunteer Jet, yeah.
Yeah, I'll go last. It's fine.
I can't even see my initiative on my character sheet.
It's the I.
Should be just I, yeah.
Yeah,
2
it's I instead of int.
Okay, yeah, sure, in the middle of the thing.
intelligence, yeah.
Yeah.
Don't see it. That's fine.
So you, Jed is that was right. He was in a different booth than everyone else.
I said I was going to sit within line of sight of the commissar, but not within touching distance. And that's fine. Cool. I'm going to round the corner here. And so this is a threat.
Yes, looking down that direction, you can see. Well, what you can see is tentacles coming from behind this probably 3.5 foot, 4 foot table, and you can just see blood on the walls behind here and on the maroon carpet there. There's just this slick glisten underneath the table lights. And then you can't see what has the tentacles, but you can see these flipping, scything tentacles, and then you just see a flash of a white talons or something like that.
Yep.
And
cool.
it's like, fuck. You don't know what it is.
My grenade has a range of 12. Does that mean I can throw that from here to there? If you reckon it's going to be too...
Well, we were multiplying that by 10 for most weapons. For grenades, 120 meters sounds excessive to me.
Yeah.
Let's
But
just
if I have a
30.
movement of 6 and it's going to take me 2 turns to move there, doesn't that make a
Well,
movement
no,
range
we'll
of...
just make an arbitrary rule that we multiplied all ranged weapons by 5. Let's
Sure.
multiply grenades by... Sorry, we multiplied all ranged weapons by 10. Let's multiply all grenades by 5.
Okay.
It means you can throw at 60 meters. That's still excessive, but you're a big burly dude, so...
Yeah.
Maybe
Really,
you play
I
ball.
just love throwing stuff.
Yeah. So yes, you can. What you were going to be doing is throwing a frag grenade, specially designed to kill the Emperor's enemies, into a crowd of people. Not an excessive crowd. And this is possibly, let's call it what it is, warp spawn. But it's also quite close to your, where you last saw your commanding, command.
Yeah, D is right there.
It's a moral quandary, but yes,
I would
throw
refer you
that.
to the personality line on my character sheet, which says Joram is right, as are the terrible actions he has to take to serving his cause.
Throw that grenade.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, you can throw that fucking grenade.
I shouldn't have interrupted there. You were very
It's fine.
right.
Yeah. Yes. So ballistic skill is
Okay.
that or?
Grenades. Now this is one that's different. This
Yeah,
is
I
one
find
that
it
can go
difficult to
wrong.
find this.
It's on this sheet here.
So
So
declare, assemble dice pool, roll attack, roll damage, inflict wounds.
This sheet.
shoot recover. Yeah, I'm thinking so. Combined attack. Let me just check. Clear health. I know this was explosive and area effects attack. So effect X targets in extreme. So it's a frag grenade, so it's a medium explosive, I believe.
Yeah. Medium.
So
Yeah.
it's
Blast
an
medium.
effect 3. So it's I can't fucking read that because it's behind that stupid thing. Oh, there we go. Attack square. Okay, so to throw it at a particular square, it's difficulty number 3.
What skill do I use for this, though?
I will just pick one, and then
Okay.
we'll come back to it. So I'm
It's
just going to say ballistics,
ballistic skill. Yeah, sure.
and we will come back and examine that
Yep.
again later.
I'm on it now. So area of it's ballistic skill.
What I'm
Cool.
going to do is I'm going to move a bit closer. So I'm going to move to here. So I'm still in a cover position, if that's okay.
Yes.
And I'm going to say, suffer not this infestation to strike out at our noble hearts. And I'm going to roll 5 dice.
Excellent. So you're looking for difficulty number 3, so that's 3 successes.
5,
3
4, 2
successes.
successes.
That's 2 successes. You
2
need a 6
successes.
for
Okay.
the double.
Cool.
Yeah, it's
So
50,
that
50.
is a miss.
So
So
that's
if you can
scattered.
roll a d6,
2 goes left.
so it goes 90 degrees left of you,
Oh,
and
neat.
it's
Okay.
going that way, affects X target 6 meters full defense. And scatter is roll a d6 by 2 meters, it goes that way, which is Warhammer's always done strange shit with scatters.
Yes.
But it was a very easy target number to drop on target.
Is that
What
a
was
1
that?
or a 6?
I believe
This is
that's
a
a
6
It's a
that I've just
medium.
rolled.
So it goes
6.
12 meters the other way. So it hits a light shade, because what the fuck? Or it careens off something, and it ends up over here. There's a massive flash and explosion as the grenade detonates. Those aerodynamically sharpened flechette fragments from the round detonate and explode in a perfect radial pattern out, throwing tables and stools and chairs everywhere. Chips on the tables go up, and shreds of high society hit the wall.
Nice.
There's a scream that you can definitely tell is Commandant D, because you can hear his the accent you were used to, and there's just a scream and bloodshed everywhere, and you can hear the bellowing laughter of these tentacles as they seem to grow in size. Then it's my go. This entire table, although you were pretty sure it was, built in place on the ground and weighs quite a bit, is pushed to the side as this clamoring maw with a long purple pointed tongue and just tentacles all over it rolls over the table in this gaudy, horrific pink with these black sunken eyes, and it leaps towards you here, smashing down through other tables. Its speed. Strength. Its speed is 6, which is the same as you guys, which means it doesn't get to you yet. However, I am going to need you to make it lets out this bellowing fear, and you must make a fear test. Its frightful form. Anyone who can see this, and I'm thinking that's probably going to be everyone here, needs to make a DN3 fear test.
What's status fear? Is that willpower?
So I don't think it'll be willpower on its own. Sorry, the windows are in different places than I'm used to. Fear tests. Okay, they're not on
Oh,
that.
is it a resolve test?
Yes.
Resolve or fear tests. Okay, let me have a look at this.
So
Yeah.
I got that from a condition terror. It said resolve, so I figured that's fear.
Okay, so where's my PDF?
Yeah, so I can see reference to fear tests, terror tests, and resolve tests being different things, which is really helpful.
Fuck, why does this not have?
Oh my god,
Oh,
of
man.
course there's 35 entries for fear in the fucking book.
I've got fear test has 23 entries. Yeah.
Sorry, I forgot to bookmark the... Add bookmark. Okay.
It's okay.
That's right.
So-
We're all learning it. Yeah.
Uh,
I guess if you failed the test,
so we've got... It's not a corruption test, it is a resolve test.
roll a resolve against
Um,
the source of
and
fear.
it's on page 170 of the PDF. Or 171.
You
before
gain ruin if a player fails a fear test.
Okay, so we roll a dice pool equal to your resolve trait. And then, of course, we go to an entirely different page because this PDF was written by morons, which is 199. Fear, you're scared, you run away from the source of the fear, of course.
Okay. So what
If you
is
fail,
the
you suffer
DN?
plus 2 DN for all tests. The DN is 3.
Do we roll RAF in fear, right?
Yes.
3 successes.
Yeah, basically you're rolling wrath unless I say otherwise.
Okay, yeah, 3 successes.
3
falls.
successes and no 6s on anything. Yeah, cool, brilliant. So you pass.
I don't think I have.
You've probably seen worse than this.
Oh yeah. So
Do
you,
you not have a resolved stat?
yeah, you do this at the bottom, Jed.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Cool.
it's
I'm
3.
just
It's
being
going to be
quick.
the
Yeah.
same.
Yeah.
The stat blocks for these grunts are all the same.
Yeah. I was just trying to see it on the sheet. Okay.
So I spent more time.
I've just rolled 2 dice and then I'll roll.
You need to roll one more, so you got 2
Ah,
successes.
for fuck's sake, Jed. That was a success, and then this one will.
Yeah, pick them all up, put them there.
Okay,
And that's
so
a
it's a
6.
6. Yeah, so it's
And
2
that's a...
successes. Or sorry,
Oh, that was a reroll of something
that
else,
was a
yeah?
reroll by accident. Yeah.
So that's 2, and the other one was a 1. So you have 3 in total?
Yeah.
Or was it 4?
He got 2 successes out of 3.
I only rolled 3 dice, so I got 2 successes.
All right, okay. So 2 successes out of 3. Okay, so you fail. So
That's good.
you're scared. Whatever's causing your fear might also make you anxious or trigger physical reactions, blah, blah, blah. When you encounter something that causes you fear, and this does, you roll your resolve against the DN indicated. Success allows you to act normally. If you fail, you suffer plus 2 DN to all tests. The penalty lasts until the end of the scene or until an ally passes a leadership test.
Hello.
Test of
Hello,
DN plus
Commissar.
DN2 plus the source of the value of the source. Fear.
So I need to do a fear test. I can. I have Death and
You're
Glory. Instead of making a fear test, I may just charge its source and make the fear test afterwards. But I will choose to make the fear test.
you are also immune to fear.
I'm immune to fear, intimidation, attacks, which I don't. Is that the same thing?
Yes, I think so.
Okay. Can I make a
Will.
leadership test?
No, I don't think it is. I think a fear attack is when it's using a
That's what I mean. Yeah, I think this is.
Oh,
a
it's not
fear-
using a specific thing. Got
This
you.
is a fear test, and a fear attack is a different thing. So I would like to roll for it. I think.
I'm just going back. Pink horror, battle cry, fright form. Anyone that can see this threat must make a DN fear test. Yeah, it doesn't seem to be. That's just its form. It's not a psychic attack on you or anything.
Charge it.
Okay. I am rolling. I have. What is
Many
the skill
resolve.
again? Yeah,
Resolve.
5. Yeah, I have
5.
5. So. Oop! I didn't mean to move that. We
And
have
dice go.
a 6, a 6, and a 4. And whatever this
And-
is that a 1?
I think that might be that's a 6. You can right click on it to find out. So that's an extra. That's a magic point. That's a fancy point. That's a glory.
We get a glory, boys. I passed
And
that with
what-
flying colours.
Yes, and basically what you've done there is rolled 5 on a DN3 test.
Yeah.
So one of them goes into the glory point,
Nice.
and one of them goes into a shift. So with the shift, we can do
Get
either
one extra thing. Yeah.
the quality of it, or the where was it? I'm trying to scroll back to the note I made. Probably the worst way to do it.
Page 165.
Yeah, basically, well, there's not much else you can do here except a bit of color, really.
Choose another effects when you shift. Advanced personal storyline.
There it is there on this little handy sheet. So it's you can convert it. You can do extra damage. You can gain information. You can improve the quality of the test, or you can improve. You can do the test faster. So a lot of that doesn't make much sense, except for maybe quality.
Yeah, we'll just confirm.
So I'm thinking that you can make the test because of your machismo or your bravado, maybe towards this horror of the Emperor's enemies. You will inspire other people, therefore dropping the difficulty by 1.
Yeah, that sounds good. So if I drop the
Could have
difficulty
made
by
that.
1, does that mean Jed makes his fear test?
No,
Okay.
it does not. It means when he makes it again next round,
I have a chance of.
Yeah.
he has a chance.
What about
Anyone who has
the whole
succeeded
thing-
is immune for the scene.
The thing of the leadership test, do I do that on my turn?
Can you read out that again? What was just the
Jed
power?
had it.
Leadership test?
I think it was on the fear test thing. Unless someone makes a
Oh, sorry. That was on. Oh man, I've so much shit. To
Yeah, I know. So many pages.
roll between. Oh, it was on page 190, wasn't it? 199. Yeah. So if you basically have to make a DN5 leadership test.
Is that part of my turn?
The penalty lasts until the end of the scene or until an ally passes a leadership test.
Yeah.
No, that a leadership test, I think, is going to be. Well, fuck it. We'll call it. We'll call it like a free action. Because it's a bark of an order or an inspirational command or movement.
I do it as an action as part of my turn, I would say.
Yeah, okay. Have you done an action yet? No, you've just rolled the resistance.
It's not my turn yet. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's now Sam's turn and then your turn.
Okay.
So, Sam, do you want to go?
Yes, I do indeed. So seeing this absolute abomination, and for some reason,
Oh, sorry, I get a rune token, don't I, as well?
Because
If
I
you
failed,
fail
yeah.
the fear test,
Because
yes.
you failed,
you
yeah.
Token.
Yes, what was I saying? Right, seeing this absolute abomination and seeing it as probably less insane than I am, I'm going to move towards it, drawing my last pistol to about here, and then shoot it. I will just do a normal shot. So I'm calling my attack, or declaring it, going to shoot the fucker, assemble my dice pool, so I am ballistic skill.
It should be totaled on those character sheets. Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Ballistic skill 5, so that's agility 2, and then the skill of 2, I'm assuming. So 5, take 1 away, give me that dice. That's the 5, come here.
Yes, I know for the monsters in the book, when you get these stat blocks, their skills down here are already totaled. So I'm not adding their stat again to it. So it is just 5 dice.
Assuming
That's
that's
the
3
same as us.
successes.
Yeah.
Now it's an auto pistol, not a las pistol, as you said.
Okay.
But yeah, okay. Can weapon list stats because we don't have that shit. Why can't they just put all tables printed again at the back of the book? Why can't they do that?
Right. Doctors of Doom website has a war gear for weapons. I'm on it.
Okay, cool.
Auto
Thank you.
pistol. Right. So you can fire a salvo of 2. It is 7 + 1 ED. Range 120 meters in our case. Is this short range? Sorry, I forgot to ask
Yes.
that.
Yes.
So short range is 1 extra to hit. Is it 1 extra dice? Short range is +1 bonus dice to range attacks.
Yep.
So I'll
Cool.
roll
So it's
another
7.
one. Another success.
So how many successes in total? 1, 2, 3?
4.
4.
So get rid of those 2. And is that now?
Oh, sorry, there's that there. So that's 4. Your target number to hit was its defense. Sorry, I'm jumping it around in the PDF here. So
That's okay.
its defense is 3. You rolled a 4. So that's a base success and 1 shift.
So I've got. Is that so? I can roll my extra damage dice, can I?
If you
Is that-
choose to shift up the damage. So at the moment you were saying it's 7 + 1 ED?
Yep.
So
Yeah.
you can roll 7 + 2 ED. Or some other effect.
What, like a RP flare? You mean?
Yeah, but it can have a bit more than just RP flare. It could be a maneuvering shot or
Maybe
it-
a winding shot to stop it advancing so fast, if that's a thing. Is the shift to shoot it in the kneecap if it has one?
well, it doesn't have one, but I get what you're going for. So yeah, okay.
Like shoot
Repelling.
Yeah.
A slowing attack.
All right. So there's 7 + 1 there of
Oh boy.
many dice.
So that's a 6, I believe.
4,
Yeah, any of the
4,
fancy
5,
logos are 6s on these
and
dice.
6. So
So
3
we got 1,
successes
2,
and
3,
this.
4, 5. The 6 is 2 successes.
Okay.
So in total, we've got 5 successes.
Yep.
Its resilience is 4 because it's well tough.
Mhm.
And so that means you do 1 wound to it.
Okay.
So again, it's a hive of tentacles that spawn from its underside. Some of these tentacles may have had a knee, and you fire your auto pistol. Yeah.
You did roll a 1 on the wrath dice there.
Something doesn't mean anything, does it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it does.
That's
Oh,
It's a
does it?
complication.
Okay, but the action still happens, and it's still a success.
Yep.
Okay, so we'll do it nice and simple. He blasts just a single shot, but your gun jams.
Roger that.
However, you do slow it down. We're going to give it half movement for the next round, and you definitely injure it. You see splats of bone and meat fly across that maroon table or the
So
maroon carpet.
I lose an ammo for a complication, don't I?
On your next turn, you reload your gun.
Yeah,
where
and you
you'll
need to
basically
spend an ammo to
lose
do
an
that.
ammo. Yeah.
So ammos are like reloads opposed to uses of ammo. And then it's into Commissars. Gexus, go. Commissar.
Okay, I
Vanglasen.
believe as a simple action, can I make a leadership test?
I think so, until we check that up. Yes, we'll go with, yes,
I would
you
like
can.
to recite the fear incantation, whereupon I yell, "Fear is naught, for my faith is strong." Sorry,
And
fear is
you're-
naught, for my faith is strong, and that is leadership 9. So
And then what are you doing for your action?
I'm gonna be shooting it. I'll be
Are
moving
you
and
going to
shooting.
be moving
Move and
towards
fire.
it?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Just checking.
Can I do the leadership test?
Yes, you can.
Okay, so I have leadership 9. So
you're rolling, looking for DN5. You got your rat dice there as well, I hope.
Yep.
Okay, so we got
6,
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Oh yeah, well, definitely a
How
pass.
come you keep picking them up?
I don't know.
I thought I locked them. Okay, so 7 successes. So basically,
Jed
you
is no
negate the
longer
fear.
afeared.
You negate the fear on Jed, but not only that, you negate the fear on. You lower the fear for your whole group by 1.
Oh, that's good.
And you had 2 shifts there. So is there anything else you'd like to do?
Oh god, I can't think of anything. I'm just gonna draw my bolt pistol and run. It's all
Okay, well,
over
how
here.
about we say something along the lines of the Emperor's litany that you just recanted towards this creature seems to have struck home, and while it was on half movement, next round it'll be on no movement.
Excellent. So I was here, so move out here.
Yeah,
Yeah, and I will take a shot at it with my frigging bolt pistol.
go for it. So it's a
So,
ballistics skill.
ballistics skill. Ballistics is 4.
I thought it would have been higher because it's ballistics and your initiative. Isn't
Well,
it?
Ability.
on my
Oh,
sheet,
sorry. Yes, yeah, it's total. Whatever your total
on
says.
my
Yeah,
sheet it
4.
just says 4. That's my total.
Yes.
So,
Sorry for questioning.
what's
Yeah.
my difficulty number?
Your difficulty number is 3.
Okay. That is
Damn.
1. Fuck's sake. What the fuck? The ship's under there.
Right,
Yeah.
now it's above.
It's
Yeah.
The
Just don't worry about it.
okay.
I'll clean it up after.
So my shot misses.
So your shot misses.
Mother.
It just
fucker.
utterly, the mass reactive round hits the glass over here and just puts a hole the size of, a melon in the inch thick glass, and then it just gets sucked out by the huge the wind and the howling gale that
Oh,
exists
I've given
3
myself.
kilometers up.
I've given myself 1 agility. Shit.
Yes, because you're a stick the sword in it and press the trigger.
Oh
sort of
yeah, yeah.
man.
No,
Yeah.
I sorry, I forgot I had no ballistic skill and I stacked I stacked
Yeah,
melee
exactly.
skill. I forgot. Yeah. Okay.
Okay,
Well,
so that's
I've
all
done
the
movement, simple
players'
action.
guys
Yeah.
go. At this stage, you can see this table has been flipped and smashed. You can see clattering up against the back wall, order to try get himself, some stability and some sucker is Sisyphon D. He's holding his head. He has both his hands up over his forehead and his eyes and his nose, and his entire face is red with blood. His officer's cap is off, lost in the confusion, and his sandy blonde, turning grey hair is again streaked red. He seems to be blinded or panicked or whatever,
Grenaded.
grenaded to the face as well as drunk, and he's stumbling around, tripping over bodies behind the table. And then we're back to the top of the round. So, out of you guys, which would like to go first?
I'd like to go first.
Very well.
Having been lifted of the blight of fear, I would like to spend a wrath point for a narrative declaration.
Go for it.
And I would like to declare that on the table behind me there is a bottle or even a decanter of a very high potency spirit, which would be flammable. And take that off the table and smash it onto this thing, stepping forward if needs be towards it.
Yes, the thing's knee has buckled underneath it, and it seems to have been caught off guard, and it kind of slips. You reach behind, and there's this thick, heavy crystal glass decanter of a syrupy, brownish stuff. If you can give it a name, it's highly flammable.
It's space vodka.
Space vodka.
Abasek.
Yeah, okay.
And
That's the one from
you
God's
you
Ghosts.
bring it up over your shoulder and crash it down into the mass of this thing.
What as I'm improvising, Gav, what I'd like to suggest is that I'm not expecting to do any damage per se, but if someone else can get a shot on this thing, it might catch a light. That's what I'm hoping for.
Okay, well, I don't think a big chunky glass decanter is going to do much to this thing anyway.
Yeah, but coating it in flammable material.
But coating it in flammable material will. If you hit, I'm going to say the thing breaks. And if it breaks, it's covered in booze. So just give me a melee roll.
And for that, I am using.
Should be using is it initiative? No.
Strength and something or what? Default 4.
Default 4. So you're rolling 4 for pretty much everything, I believe.
Yeah. Okay.
5 for bayonet. Yeah. Normally for this, we would be using weapon skill, which is your initiative-based skill. So 4 dice, rolling 1,
1,
2,
2
3.
successes. Yeah,
So
and
that hits. His defense is only 3.
and that's a 1 on the wrath die.
Now, oh, it is indeed. The decanter shatters and splashes, and this viscous brown liqueur coats the top of this creature's head. But what does happen is I am going to take this opportunity to spend a rune. Is that just one? I'm going to spend a rune. Can we just throw it over there somewhere?
Okay, yeah.
And it is going to roll 3d6. I don't believe I... Do I roll rune dice? Do I have...
I don't know. I didn't look at ruin at all, to be honest.
2 success.
2 successes.
I only have a
Any
defensive
wounds
one, so-
negated by determination are ignored instead of being converted to shock. So what this thing does is basically it reaches down with one of its many tendrils that it's coming out of its head and the back of its head, and it wraps it around its knee and its leg, and it just pulls, and it tears off the calf and the lower muscle and the foot, and by the time it articulates its thigh towards the ground, another foot is automatically being brought into existence from the warp, and it looks fully healed.
Motherfucker.
That was me using a special power on it by using the rune. Then it's go. It is going to take an action. It is going to use. It's going to the one tendril that have gleaming white claws on the end of it are going to take a swing.
Noble Ezreal.
Rural Ezreal there. Yes, sorry, was the name I was trying to go for.
Yeah.
So your defense is
Just a 1.
Yeah. So
resilience
it's
do I
going to be
have?
using its claws. It's going to be using.
I have 3 resilience, so if you do 3 or less damage, then it won't hurt me. And then
Yeah,
I think the odds of you doing 3 or less damage are pretty low.
There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7,
8.
8.
Cool. Well, that hits.
So that hits, and it does. He's basically going to use his damage of 6 plus. Let's say he's going to. So that's. He rolled 8. We'll take 2 away for the shift, so he still has 2. So he can shift it 6 times, so he's going to roll 12 damage dice. And his tendrils will reach inside Ezreal and pull him limb from limb, and one side of the carcass, or his chest from the other.
Yeah, because I only have a max of 2 wounds, so.
Yes.
Cool.
And it'll definitely do it without bothering to roll. I wonder who else is amongst the guard with us this evening. Right after his go is either Sam or Kix.
Sorry, I was talking then. If you did roll that though, he does have a resilience of 3. So if you rolled really, really badly, he could still survive.
Yeah, okay, that's fair. I had 6 dice here. Sorry,
It's just
6 extra damage.
Because even if you've rolled 4 wounds, he'd still have 1 left. Because the resilience negates 3, doesn't it?
This dude's damage is 6 plus 2 ED.
Yep.
So you're rolling 8 dice. I absorb 3 of them because of my resilience.
So you can survive 4 damage basically. So if you roll more than 4, he's dead.
Yeah, but his base damage is 6. I shifted it up 6 times.
So
Oh.
you're rolling 6 plus 6.
Yeah, plus
rolling
the
12
2
dice.
ED. So like I'm
yeah,
rolling 14 dice.
Yeah, you'd have to roll really badly.
So this thing is essentially a kind of a tier 2.5, tier 3 bad guy.
Sorry, I didn't realise that. So statistically, yes.
Wait, I've got disconnect.
Yeah,
fuck?
Sam has just kicked
So
you
I
out as
did
well,
as
right?
well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm still in, so I don't know what's going on there. But
I've got like 40 windows open, so I don't know if these are locally hosted clients or what.
I've got just like 45 ping to you,
So-
Gab, so
It says
Yeah,
P2P. Don't worry, I'm back.
maybe.
Yeah, no, most of my shit that I have opened is local, so it might be just shitty connection for once. And you are promoted again. You've chosen your color.
So yeah, he's
So
pretty dead.
he's utterly dead.
Ah, yeah, server reset. That'll be it. I am red.
And you are promoted.
Thank you.
And win or lose, we will finish up after this combat.
Yes.
So, what do we got here? We got Sam or the Commissar next.
I'll just chill. Tweak, shoot that bastard.
Well, my weapon's jammed, and I need a DN2 tech intelligence test to use it again, and I have intelligence of 1. So
I see.
You cannot unjam a weapon.
yes, that's how I thought as well. I need 2 dice, don't I, to do it?
Do you
Well,
have
that doesn't
just
make a
default
huge amount
4?
of sense.
Just skills default 4. Go with that, I think.
Well, no, because my intelligence wouldn't be that high, but I would need a point in tech to make it more.
You're a frag grenade.
Your int is 1. I can't see a regular grunt having tech 3. So I know these are cut down sheets. These are more for a GM if the Militarum Trooper was against players playing Chaos or whatever. So
Let me just find an Imperial Guardsman basic.
I'm going to give you 2 dice. And if you roll 6s, you get 1 in tech is, I think, more than generous for a guardsman. Your background is not really techie.
Standard
clear jam.
Yeah, standard int is 1. They have weapon skill 1. Yeah, they don't have any tech in it. So yeah, in other words, if their guns jam, they're screwed. Sounds about right. I'll just roll a raft dice. So surely if I roll a 6 on that, then that's can do something, right?
Roll it and see if you get a 6. Yeah.
For unjamming, do you not just have to? You don't have to just spend the token. You've got to make a roll, and
it's a simple. As far as I'm aware, reloading is a simple action to.
Oh, sorry,
it's
he's
not reloading.
Yes,
No.
yeah.
You can stipulate whether you unjam or whether it requires a reload, and you say
So,
text.
what I'm going to say is you manage to the mag is damaged. You pull the thing out, the chamber goes, and it flicks out the jammed round. You don't have time to jam in a new mag this round, but it is unjammed. Does that make sense?
Yes, that's the chart we need. Combat complications, I think.
That should be on the table somewhere.
Yes, because it has lots of DN tests in it. If you give me a weapon malfunction, definitely won't be able to do this DN4. Weapon stuck is DN3 strength.
Door stuck.
Yes. Anyway, I probably will not be doing anything because I'm busy playing with my gun, so I'll be in cover trying to get it unstuck.
Now that was a full round action, was it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll spend a full round. If I'm not doing a test properly, I'll spend a full round doing it.
Very well. I'll charge the bastard and attack it with my chainsword.
It's going to be inspirational stuff for the troops. You're going to tell tales about Commissar Vanglasen III.
Well, the rest of the troops do.
Okay, here we go. Weapon skill.
They're like, some of them are panicking, some of them are shooting. They're just not really,
achieving anything.
Yeah.
Yes, many pew pews going on.
Here we go. Weapon skill 9.
Thank you.
Okay.
So
is there any? Let's have a quick look at the. No vision penalties. There's no talents coming into play here. Is there a charge bonus?
If you charge for a full round action, you get +1 bonus dice on your attack test. And you must move at least 4 meters to charge.
I don't know how really far that distance was. Should we say it's 4 meters?
Yeah.
Sure.
So I get another dice.
Yeah.
On
Yeah.
my attack dice. Okay, let's go.
And your attack bonus, if you want to make... Yeah, okay.
If I want to make what?
I was going to say, if you want to make an all-out attack, I don't know what that does. I'm assuming it
don't think
affects
you
your
can.
defense. No?
I'm just going to
Okay.
do an attack.
If he's doing a charge, that is an attack option.
1, 2. Fuck me. 3 successes.
Well, that's a hit.
Okay.
You got a murder dice, and you got points of wrath here. So you can spend a point of wrath to roll again. Let's just double check all that.
Can I use a point of wrath to increase the damage that my chainsaw is going to do?
Yeah, but it only increases it by 1 as far as I know. And rolling that many dice...
Calculating damage with a melee weapon, add your strengths to the weapon's damage.
What the fuck?
Yeah, no, the damage is going to do, like, ass loads, but... So, sorry, using glory, gaining wrath, using wrath. So you can add a narrative element, reroll failed dice, not complications, or recover rank +3 shock if conscious. So you can reroll all your failed dice for a wrath dice. A wrath point, which you have two
But
of.
it makes no difference because I've already succeeded on the attack. Correct?
Unless you want more successes.
But it makes no difference if I've already hit.
Yes.
Yeah, no, it does, because everything you do over and above that base of 3
Is a
gives you extra damage or other cool effects.
Okay, so I got 3
You
successes.
get potential
So
shifts there, so yeah.
I rolled 10 dice. I got 3 successes. So if I roll 7 more, I'd spend a glory? Was it wrath point?
A wrath
Yeah,
point, and
wrath
you're
point.
not rolling wrath in this because the
Okay.
wrath rolled or whatever.
There's a wrath token.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, spend your wrath tokens because they reset every session anyway.
Yeah. Oh boy, that's spread out a bit. 1, 2, 3, 4,
5, 6.
5, 6. Okay.
So that's 9 in total.
Oh shit. Yeah, 9 successes.
I got
You
that.
can shift this one.
So you can shift it
This
6 times.
Yeah, a bunch of shifts, yeah.
So what's your damage?
8 plus 4 ED.
8 plus 9 plus 4. It's 21D. Christ.
Wait, no, my damage is 8 plus 4
Yeah.
ED.
Okay, but you rolled
It's-
9 successes or
Yeah.
whatever. So then, and your target number was 3. So you can shift it up 6 times.
Okay.
So it's 8 plus the shift up of 6.
Should we just
Plus-
8 plus 10 ED?
Yeah.
Nice.
Holy fuck.
It's bigger dice pools than I thought we'd be using.
Yep.
I'm not 100% sure that that's right, but I feel like it isn't right.
I do think you can shift multiple times.
Okay. Well,
Yeah, you can shift as many times as you can shift as many dice as you have.
Yeah, the only thing you can't shift is your glory.
okay.
You can do that once.
Well, here, I'm rolling
Yes.
damage.
Besides, a tier 3 commissar versus a pink horror.
Yeah.
You know, you're a specialist melee dude. And your damage roll
This
is
is
shit.
what you should be good at, yeah.
So
2
1,
sixes.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
So that's 6. It has a resilience of 4.
Mm-hmm.
So you're doing 2 damage to it.
2 more wounds, yeah.
What
So-
the fuck? But if I got 6s there, can I shift that damage? How's that work?
No.
Okay.
This is the damage roll, so they're just count as 2s.
All right.
So,
Okay.
so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Okay.
So that's 6 damage minus his 4 resilience is 2. So you get the chain sword?
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah, you get the chainsword and rev it up through half his tendrils, and all the left-hand side of him just fall away.
Pretty good.
The thing looks pretty fucked. It howls in agony, and its needle-sharp teeth and long, kind of bluey purple tongue just warble in fucking spittle in front of you as kind of acid flies. And then it's his go. No, it's top of the round.
What does brutal do? The tag word. I'm trying to find them because his chainsword has the brutal trait.
Were you saying it was double strength damage? Something
No,
like that?
I don't. I'm trying to find the page because there's all the traits. There's fucking hundreds of them, but it
Brutal.
doesn't.
When rolling damage dice, add +1 to the result of each extra damage die.
Oh, holy shit!
Oh,
Oh
Well,
shit.
okay, that's worth knowing for the next
Oh,
time.
okay. So
tell you what. So it was 8 plus 10, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was
yeah.
18 dice you were rolling. Roll them again. Just because of, this will either end the session this evening or
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 dice there. I'll do. Oh my god.
You need another 5 dice.
Yeah, I know. That was a 6. That was a
Yeah,
6.
so
Yeah.
So here's 5 more. Oh, that's a success actually. And that's a success. Here's 5 more.
So hang on, what's your ED on this? It was +4.
My ED is +4.
So that means 4 of these dice, let's just fuck it, are +1. So you're succeeding on 3s. So another. What did you get here? 1, 2.
That was a 6. That was a 6.
But these are all success. Those are all successes on the right.
All those dice were. So 6 successes. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah. 4 damage. Chainsword guts through this thing. It flitters, it hisses, it collapses on itself. And then there's a shock wave as the windows of the place explode outwards. People start to hysterically panic. You look across at your officer, slumped down behind the table, holding bits of his face up against his skull.
Oh yeah.
You look around at the dead body of Eskrol, and
So
panic, fleeing terror of people like just trying to mill towards the exit.
you have to punish him for dying in combat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's
we'll
flogging.
We'll just call it there for this evening.
Okay.
Thanks, Kev.
Yeah,
All
no
right.
worries.
That's great.
Okay, I better read the combat chapter again.
I need to read it 3 or 4 times.
Well, my brain was kind of frazzled.
It's been like a week, and I have had a very long week, and I have not read anything in between.
And I think having all these different modifier bullshits around the outside is
so much.
Is too much. So what I think we'll do is I'll have a look through and either properly compile them or maybe make a graphic where they're all on one image across the whole table. Something, I don't know.
We just all need to learn our own individual trait words and everything. So
Yeah.
I just drop the weapon link in there for the. You can just search by weapon name and it will find it.
Yeah, you're using that website. Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Good sounds there.
Yeah, it just doesn't say what the traits do, so we're gonna have to look them up in the book.
They are on the bottom of the character sheets. So you've got your paper character sheet. That's how I found Gex's thing. So if you press Alt on your character sheet and say your weapon has parry, for example, or brutal or anything like that, they're all on there.
Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
So that's how
Yeah.
Big brain.
Nice. Okay. Cool.
Okay,
yeah, I don't feel like
rapid fire and rending. Yeah.
I don't get why I rolled so many dice there, but I'll figure out.
All right. Basically, you have a chunky weapon skill.
Yeah.
The target number to hit things is fairly low.
Yeah.
It seems.
It's the resilience, isn't it, that makes the difference.
So basically, you only needed 3 successes. You rolled like 9 successes to hit the thing. So it was an extremely good hit. So you got 6 extra successes, superfluous successes. With those, you could shift your damage. That means you could kick your damage up 6 times, which is putting on an extra 6 damage.
All right.
So then the weapon damage was 10 plus, because it's brutal, 4 ED.
And then it's just an extra 6 dice of successes. Yeah.
But I don't know whether those extra damage dice go onto your ED or the base weapon. So it might actually be ED, which means you would have even done more damage.
Yeah.
Yes, we need to read that.
So that's something we'll look into, but that's kind of where those numbers came from, if we're doing it correctly. Again, I don't know if resilience is something you roll damage dice and you have to overcome resilience, or resilience just takes away from the damage dice and you do the automatic calculation without having to roll. Might be quicker to do the latter.
Just
I need to take a quick leak. Sorry, I'm bursting.
Yeah.
Hold
Okay.
on. Back in a moment.
what do you two gents think about having the dice rollers, considering the amount of dice we're rolling? The ones we had in D&D. I know they're a bit shit.
It's fun. Yeah,
I
it's
like
fun to
rolling
play
dice.
with.
I agree with you, but we're going to end up getting into the stage where we're rolling like 20 dice.
Could we have a bowl or a tighter enclosure in which we roll them, because we are sending stuff flying across the tables?
It needs walls. Maybe we need to sink the map into some walls so that they stay in the board.
Yeah,
Some
I mean,
little, some little
having
trays.
a tray or
rolling
little
tray.
trays would be good.
Yeah, just extend the base end to the left of the map from our player positions out a bit and put a tray in there or something to roll in. Yeah, so where you just rolled, put a tray in there or something. It suffers from Games Workshop syndrome, which is like, how many dice can we roll on a fucking board? Every single Games Workshop game I know of is roll a bazillion dice. Have fun.
Uh-oh.
Right, I'm going to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. I need to go.
I'm gonna go and brush my teeth. I'll catch you all later on.
Yes.
Peace. I'm very tired.